Hello, I'm recording this on May 4th, 2025, and that means two things. I really hope you got a chance to look at that really great planetary alignment at some point recently. But otherwise, this is the Darkness News Update, and it is sponsored by the National Association of Innovative Lighting Distributors. The board has been kind enough to keep us going in terms of financial and production support. And it's also brought to you by you. That's right, you at any point can visit restoringdarkness.com and set up a one-time or recurring donation to make this show carry on, along with all of our other work, which is ongoing. We're working on some exciting stuff right now. But let's get into the news. Depression symptoms have been linked with circadian rhythms. This is a survey published in BMJ Health showing that of a group of 49,000 adults, the later you stay up, the worse you feel about things. And yeah, that's something, things just look better in the morning. They really do. But again, that is another indication that mental health and your sleep quality do go together. Light pollution has been linked with type 2 diabetes in monkeys. Harvard Med School kept a group of monkeys under different lighting levels at night for 10 months, and most of them developed type 2 diabetes in that time. Circadian rhythms do influence your caloric intake if you're a teen. This is a new study finding that overweight teens take in more calories later in the day. Morning exercise has been linked with an overall cognitive boost in dancers. This is a study of a couple of different groups of dancers, some of whom did their practice in the mornings. Yes, their morning practice happened in the mornings, is what I'm saying. But what happened is they were tested later in the day for reaction time and their ability to do cognitive sorting tasks. And those that did do their exercises in the morning, as opposed to after lunch or later in the day, did perform better. And, this probably applies to other people, but you can dance if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. We also have a new study recommending circadian entrainment for cardiac patients in the ICU. This is a study that showed that interventions from nurses that were timed to their biological clock were overall improved recovery rates in a cardiac ward. We are all sleeping longer and better than any other time in history, but we're also less rested. This is a large-scale study showing that circadian disruption is reducing rest efficiency compared even to people currently living in less industrialized areas right now. So 6.4 hours in the middle of nowhere is just better than 7.5 where I live, is what it comes down to. We are going to move to a bunch of driving-related headlines, starting with the ongoing series of things that will cause self-driving cars to kill us. Self-driving cars are confused by emergency vehicle lighting. This is a study that took place at Ben Gurion University in Israel, partnered with the Japanese tech firm Fujitsu, and they've actually dubbed this phenomena called the epileptic car. What happened is that they tested a bunch of self-driving systems, and they found that of the 14 different pulses from emergency vehicles, whether that's sirens from ambulances or police cars or whatever, and different international standards came into play here, they found that self-driving systems that relied on cameras can't parse what the flashing red and blue or red and green or whatever lights actually do, and they can't react anymore. And that's bad. Porsche has begun recalling their 2025 911s because their headlights are too bright. This is actually an issue with dynamic lighting controls where the fog lights don't sync up with the speed the right way, and they're just too bright all the time. And if you have one or you see one, encourage them to go to their dealer and get that fixed. The next model year of Tesla Model Ys will have adaptive headlights. This is a feature that's been available on EU cars sold in the EU already, but finally North America is going to be experiencing this new tech, at least on the Model Y. That obviously they're not making any new Cybertrucks right now. We have a study of harlequin flies that shows that light pollution is a direct contributor to their deaths. This shows that there is a notable drop in fertility when harlequin flies are kept under light at night conditions, and this is part of the ongoing interactions between Allen and insect biodiversity. Roosevelt Park Zoo in North Dakota has joined the Audubon Society in leading a Lights Out initiative for birds. This is a big part of their big spring migration campaign, and hopefully this awareness building can reduce light pollution and improve survival rates for those birds that do migrate through the US this year. Yorkshire in the UK has celebrated their 10th year of darkness, specifically the North York Moors and Dales National Wildernesses. They've been doing festivals for stargazers for 10 years now. They got recognized by DSI in 2020. The city of Las Vegas has passed a new light pollution bylaw ahead of construction for a proposed Latter-day Saints temple. Specifically, the temple was set for the Lone Mountain region, and Las Vegas, the city, not the strip, the city has passed a new rule that will set CCTs at 4,000 and limits any structure over 35 feet tall to lights out between 11 and 5, because it turns out Las Vegas, the city, some of those people need to sleep. They probably appreciate that. Anyway, a change.org petition that is snowballing into the actual state legislature in Michigan is seeking to expand the reach of dark sky reserves in the Upper Peninsula. So in 2012, Michigan passed a really specific bit of legislation, or an amendment to an existing legislation, that would limit dark sky park projects to the following areas. These are all state-owned lands, so Lake Hudson, the Wilderness State Park in Bliss Township, Cross Village Township, and Wattawam and Emmett County, Port Crescent State Park in the area north and west of the Pinnebog River, Rockport State Recreation Area, which is near Prescale Township and Alpena Township. We also have Negwegon State Park in the Sanborn Township, Alpena County, the Thompson Harbor State Park in Krakow Township, and the Dr. T.K. Lawless Park in Porter and Newburgh Townships, as well as the Headlands International Dark Sky Park in Wawatam. So all of these areas are allowed to be dark sky parks, and that's it. Like, the law actually says, no, we're not going to pursue this anywhere else. And the residents are like, but why not, though? Because what we're seeing in a lot of cases is that dark sky projects tend to move across neighborhoods. Like, if one place gets it, the next door place wants it. And so this is a change.org petition. Change.org is an organism on the internet that is like Yelp, but for local legislation, in the sense that it distracts you from actually doing anything productive and useful. But in this case, it's being picked up, and Michigan residents in the Upper Peninsula may see this law change so that darkness can spread, conservation can spread, and that's great. An airport in Jackson, Wyoming is seeking recognition from Dark Sky International. Now, all the safety and signal lighting, that can't change. FAA is like, no, we can't do that. But this is this is near a couple of dark sky sanctuaries already, speaking of viral transmission of conservation, as it were. But they are planning on making timing and dimming part of their interior and parking lot lighting, even if they can't change anything on the runways. They shouldn't change anything on the runways. Oh my God. Flying is so dangerous now. Jeebus. Chico, California is debating darkness. Specifically, Chico State is really well lit and the city itself is not. Chico State University, I should say. It's really well lit, but the city is not. And they know they're underlit. The city knows they're underlit, but they are worried about overreaching on lighting projects. So they are debating that right now. In Montana, a newly appointed member of the New Ronan Town Commission is actually planning on a dark sky audit. This is new staff coming in and saying that right out of the gate, first thing on the thing they want to do with their job is to improve the use of light at night in the town. Logan Square, Illinois is cracking down on light trespass with a new regulation that would keep photons restricted to property lines, as well as limiting color temperature and brightness. In Colorado, the town of Berthoud, I'm pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry, is seeking recognition from Dark Sky International. They've already set up sky quality meters at the local observatory, and they're proposing new ordinances on use of light at night already. A proposed data center in Port Washington, Wisconsin, is threatening their nearby observatory. Boulder City, Nevada, has installed new street lighting that they consider to be responsible. This is a full project that'll be done. The full project will be done in 2028. They are gunning for recognition from the DSI. The Burn Dairy has installed dark sky compliant lighting as part of their expansion. This is in Batavia, New York. In Fort Wayne, Indiana, a newly built golf center promises to limit light pollution. This is a new development that promises to behave on this in this respect, going forward as they come to the end of building. In Ireland, the Comber Greenway is testing red lighting. This is a known bat corridor, and they are testing pathway lighting at 1000 Kelvin, or 590 nanometer to 790 nanometer lighting. It's red. It's real red, guys. It looks interesting. We'll see how that goes. Turkey is pursuing recognition for at least one dark sky park this calendar year. This is a public-private partnership between a tourism agency and a couple of different ministries in Turkey, and they are going to get DSI recognition for at least one park this year. In Bhopal, India, this is in central India in the Lake Country, they are setting up campgrounds for sleep tourism. These are 4 permanent campgrounds already built in Hanuwantiya, Kuno, Gandhi Sagar, and Chanderi, with 3 more planned in Orcha, Mandu, and Tamia. And let's go to space. Let's talk about space for a minute, because Space Sail is planning on launching 15,000 low-orbit satellites by 2030. This is a Chinese SpaceX competitor going hard. They're competing real hard because that's double what Elon plans on launching in the same amount of time, which is, of course, leading to concerns about satellites interrupting astronomical observations, as well as just debris in orbit. It's not great when there's debris in orbit because it makes it harder to launch more things into orbit or past orbit if you want to, say, put something or someone on the moon. As a result, the United Nations has had a meeting on satellite impacts. The 20-member UN Committee for the Peaceful Uses of Outer Space will now be meeting annually on the need for dark and quiet skies. The U.S. is participating in this through the Space Force. The Space Force will now mandate that optical laser devices be used on every thing in low orbit. This is the extremely low resource optical identifier, which will pulse little lasers that'll say what's there, what it's doing, where it's moving, how it's supposed to be moving, and this orbit, these signals that cost about $1,000 per device will help manage all of the things in orbit so they don't hit each other. Probably. I've been Scott Wachter. I want to thank you for your time, your attention, your donations, or visiting nailed.org to find out more about what Nailed does for lighting professionals and the people around them. But otherwise, take care of yourself. See ya.